Well, I'll tell you what, Amy was going to have to hide the silverware before going into the last race. Tonight, I was deeply disappointed in some of the horses. And I guess upon reflection, when I look at a horse like Steph's Hope, right? Qualified in 2, 3, and 3, off 2 weeks, and coming off the virus, trained a mile in 2-4 last half and 1-1. Is it really shocking that she went out and trotted in 2 minutes? On my way down here, I'd said to Amy, if Bobby behaved and trotted in 59 2 minutes, she'd be good, right? Well, we'll get to her in a minute. I guess deeply disappointed is not fair. As I took stock of the night and tried to look into what happened, I was angry about a couple of things. But deeply disappointed is not fair. So we talked about Memento Mori in depth on the way down here. We talked about 3-Point Blue Chip. Turned the page on the Meadows. We go to Ohio, and there was one in Ontario too. So Steph's Hope starts it off. If I tried to squeeze Justin in the last turn, if I wiggle my way through there, I'm 5th instead of him. I think he was 5th. So I don't blame him for not letting me out. But 2 minutes, I think I had the line up here, right? 2 minutes. 2 minutes flat, 30 and 3 on the end of it. She had the half and 1 and a minute and 4/5. The last half 59 and 1. I think it's a decent line all in all, and I think she never really got tired. The 30 and 3 was mostly jammed up in the last turn. It wasn't that she was wide open and could only trot 30 and 3. She didn't really shake loose until coming out of the last turn. So the first eighth of the last quarter was almost a park. There was nothing I could do. There was a horse really walking in front of me, Sam Winter's horse. So not bad, right? I'm thinking, Steph, you trotted 2 minutes. My goodness, they went to 57 and 4. That's a pretty good mile for the fillies. Annette Laurenson at it again. She's a tough customer to race against. I drove horses for her 2 decades ago, her and her family. She is probably, I would say, probably one of the most underrated horse people that I race against. And there might be people saying, well, everybody talks. No. She has raced in the Hamiltonian. The day, people may not remember this, the day that What the Hill got set back in the Hamiltonian, that was her horse that got interfered with. And if I'm not mistaken, that is the sire of the horses she was winning with tonight, Guardian Angel AS. I believe I'm right. I know it was her horse. I know Jason Bartlett was driving it. I know Dave Miller interfered with him halfway down the lane and got tossed. The coolest thing I saw that day was the equipment change from Ron Burke. Take the shoes and the hobbles off What the Hill. If there was ever a more ballsy move on planet Earth, I have never seen it. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we swing back to today. Steph's what? What was that about?
Just remembering a quote I shared a couple of weeks ago.
Which was what? Oh, the ADHD?
Long story short.
Oh yeah, you're
Forget
funny.
that.
Shut it. So Steph's Hope raced good. Now I went with Jolene Hall. She doesn't race as good on the front, but she's getting better. I think if I now he won the race, he was 5-1 though. If I pop out of the 2-hole on Hank Levan and push the envelope and really push him, I think he's got to release me. And if he does, all things being said, I think I win tonight. She followed him in the head of lane. He drove great, Hank Levan. 29 and 1, a minute and 2/5. He wins in 58 and 1. Last half 57 and 4. I'm a length and a half back. I'm beat a length and 3/4. So I had 2. Trotted last half 57 and 4. Last quarter 28 and 1. I trotted with them, but we were smoking. Hank Levan trotted 28 flat. So I guess he would have beat me, I guess. And the horse was second, 27 and 3. So maybe I got what I was going to get. But she raced super good. Very, very good. This is going to be a nice filly. This is Moni Hall's sister we talked about before. I think it's fair to say of all the horses that raced tonight, no, I guess Judy. It's tough to dismiss Judy. And we'll talk about the trip Judy went in a minute, by the way. Jolene Hall was very, very good tonight. I'm displeased with myself over Nassau. I know we had a lot of people, a lot of naysayers saying you bought the horse because Steve's horse and blah, blah, blah. I like Nassau. I liked him. I still like him. I know exactly what's going on with the horse. We got the horse here. He had long toes. We chopped them all off. He trained good this week. So I opted, rather than wait a week, which I should have done, I didn't want the horse to race when I was gone away. I think that was a component. I wanted to race race him, right? So we entered him in Scioto. We bring him down. He actually seemed fine in the warm-up. Seems a little pacey again. Now, he didn't pace tonight, though. A little pacey again tonight. Dr. Tessa said he thought it was all EPM. I don't know. I know we have another propulsion in Grand Slam DO. Her knees and feet hurt her from time to time. When you can control both and keep them both good, she's really good. When either one are bothering her, it's a bit of a nightmare. And this Nassau is also a propulsion. He was out of sorts tonight. He was rough the whole way, and he finally blew up in the last turn. We need to completely overhaul Nassau. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. But what we have to do is not race him when he's not 100%. Because racing him when he's not 100% will result in 0% of purse money. So blame me. That's on me. Steve thought we should have waited until next week, and in retrospect, I guess if I had to walk it back right now after the race, of course, I agree. We should have. I just wanted to be here to race him, and I wasn't going to be able to next week. And I think that really is what played the biggest role in me racing him tonight. That was it. So he will not qualify next week. We'll school him, make sure he's right. I think if we do his back, if Dr. Tessa can do his back with iodine, we do his knees, work on his feet, maybe even put the flip-flops on him, put a light set of boots on him behind, I think we're fine. He'll definitely qualify anyway, our school, well anyway. I guess maybe if he was good, we could qualify. I don't know. Anyway, as I said to Amy, the horse is going to be useful in the classes in Northfield Park. There's no two ways about it. But I was angry when I come off the track. A little disappointed in the whole situation, mad at myself, and angry when he made the break. Because, quite frankly, I could have kept him trotting. Around the last turn, did I need to be 9th instead of 10th? Was that necessary? So I'm mad at myself for putting him on the run. I'm double mad at myself for putting the horse in to go at Scioto anyway. At that point now, we've had Jolene Hall. I'm not angry at Steph at all. Going into the race, I told you guys she was going to be a little short. 2 minutes, last half 59, 30-3, getting jammed up. A decent mile. Jolene Hall was great. I don't like getting beat fair and square, but she is going to improve also. And I didn't want Nassau's race and the whole situation that I just talked about to ruin my night, so I'm trying my best to put it away. Then I come on the track with Aunt Sarah. Now, granted, they went in 56-4. I think her knees bother her quite a bit right now. And because she's loading weight in the mile to protect herself, I think her stifles bother her. She got swimmy, pacey, and rolled off stride. I could have told you halfway around the last turn it was going to be a miracle to get her to the wire. She's really the only horse that is concerning me a little bit tonight. I know that Dr. Latessa likes this filly also, and I know that him and I are probably going to have a discussion about her tomorrow. I don't think there's any issues with her knees, but I do want to look at the structure of her knees, because I don't want to just inject her to mask something that's going on. If it's maturity, if it's that her knees just aren't closed up yet and they're really hurting her this time of year, then I don't want to just inject and go. I think that would be a huge mistake. Now, having said that, I didn't see her lame tonight, but I did see her loading a lot of weight in the last 3/8 of the mile. I watched her walk out of the paddock on the cement. She was sound as a dollar. So I can't say with certainty that there's any structural issue. Maybe it is that she just needs a little maintenance work. It's very possible.
Did she get on the right line the further you went?
She was starting to get in the last turn, but even worse than that, she was getting out of gear in the last turn. She trotted straight through the first turn, no problem. In the second turn, she was a little bumpy, and then halfway around the last turn, I could feel her start to run in, get out of gear, and I had the gating pole on. I had it against her. We came out of the turn. She switched her lead. She hit herself and rolled off. She was one, tired, and two, a little frustrated at that point also. I think she began hitting herself. But I think my feelings are maybe her stifles need some work, maybe her back needs some work also. But I think that is secondary to what is actually the problem, which is she loading weight from the front end. So again, I think a complete diagnostic of Aunt Sarah from Dr. Latessa as we head into next week, and then make a decision with her. Now, the good news is she's the only one that I was at all concerned with tonight. The Nassau thing, you're talking 2 weeks. stay at Northfield, give him 2 weeks and bring him back. I don't really think to be a problem after that. But now I'm a little frustrated because I just said that Aunt Sarah was probably our best shot tonight. Her and the Jolene Hall filly. They were our 2 best shots in my mind. So now I'm getting a little angry. The last horse I wanted to race next was Rose Run Bobby. The very last. So I go out in the track. Bobby was actually good. I'd said to Amy, she got that open bridle on. She was quieter tonight. She was manageable. She was smart. Still trying to figure everything out. But as we go out of the gate, she got a little shuffly, right? She touches that left hind, right? She touches that left hind. She gets out of gear. I don't want to startle her, so I'm just settling. There's a nice juicy 5-hole there. And I can, just to the periphery, I can see the guy, Sam, I think it was Sam Widger. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not. Well, it's right here. Yeah, it was Sam Widger. No, he got away in the front. It was somebody towards the back. Hugh Beatty, maybe? Yeah, I think it was Hugh Beatty. He's steadying his horse and coming through the inside. Now, I want that hole, and he really doesn't want me let me in there. I don't think he's going to tip his filly over to keep me out, so I just go to squeeze him a little bit. And as I did, I think Bobby herself got a look at the horse coming up the inside. It was a little unsure of herself. That's how it felt to me. And she just rolled off. She's a baby and she made a break. You can't be too angry at her. She did trot at her last half in 58.3, a mile and 2.5. She did trot her last 3 quarters in 1:30 or 1:29. What was her last quarter? 30 and 4. She was a little tired at that point. Amy asked, well, what's wrong with her? I said, nothing. She's stupid. You asked what was wrong with her? What I thought was wrong with her? I just think she's the same filly. I'll tell you what she is. She's improving. Before she was a runaway and crazy. We have her to where she's manageable now. Now we have to be able to teach her how to race. It's going to take a little time. And I would love to tell you, turn around, she'll mature. No, she won't. She's dumb. No, she needs to learn. It's a great question. Somebody sent me a message today. It said, I know in your video you said had to know you're thinking about turning them out, but wouldn't it make more sense to race them a couple of times at the fairs? It's a fair question. Literally a fair question. See what I did? But it's 2 different things. Head to know understands his job completely. Mentally, he's right on point. He understands his work. In fact, for him, bumpy as he was last night, he'd have to actually be at 105% not to run. He could have run, 19 times last night? Never looked to, not one time. Tried to work through it because that is maturity. That's not mental. You have to be physically and mentally mature to race throughout the season. He's just not physically. He's a gigantic animal. That's why. Whereas Bobby, mentally, she's like a C-. God love her. She wants to, but she is learning. She was not a runaway tonight. I shouldn't have put her in that spot. I should have just let Hugh Beatty go up the inside of me and duck right in behind him and let her race around the end of it. I just thought I was going to get in there. Once I get in there, now I'm in 5th position. All I need to do is hold 5th position to get a check. Anything above that is gravy.
It would have been
Yeah, they went 2-1. She might have got a big hunk of it. But alas, she made a break. So I come off the track now. We get the break from Sarah, the break for Bobby. I'm literally teetering on the point of losing my mind. And who do I got to bail me out? Megan's lucky day. Possibly the craziest horse of them all. No, Bobby was. She's not now. So I'm like, I got Megan, and now here I'll give you a little story.
I was a little worried about the 25-minute post break with Bobby.
So no, she was fine. She was perfect. She was a complete professional about the post. She did nothing wrong. The break tonight was her just being green. I don't care about the break. The fact that she's learning to race is gigantic for her. I really did not. I thought she was going to be a loon tonight. I really expected her to be.
What about when you warmed her up?
No, she was a kid.
That was dumb also, because
they say the races run them off. They run them off. They run them off. So they're talking about how quick they run or how slow they run the races off at Scioto. I almost missed the post parade with Aunt Sarah because I got 2 laps into Bobby and they were post parading.
They called them out when you were going right after the first lap, and I was like, oh no, he's going to get in trouble.
they fined me $100 for going through a pile of Milan Sarah right before she made a break and finished 9th. Was there a necessity to find somebody for that? So ridiculous.
Well, they're probably mad at you for this.
No, they did warn me about the post parade, but in fairness, I said, hey, just so you know, I assumed it was widely known that this place is the slowest place for post parades. I got 2 laps into my filly and brought her off. No, Bobby was great. She was great in that regard. Just turn the page. It's unsightly. It's frustrating when a horse makes a break like that. But the Bobby that I qualified on qualifying day on June the 22nd was a complete lunatic. And you fast forward 3 weeks and the Bobby tonight did that. I don't care about the break. She actually has learned quite a bit in 3 weeks. So maybe I'm a little hard on her intelligence because she actually was proper tonight. So I go out the track. So we go to warm up. I want to go a mile with Judy's money to set the hobbles for Brett Miller and Brett's bike. We go to warm her up. Now, rewind a couple of days. If you remember, we took the flip-flops off because we didn't want to race her down here with flip-flops. We put egg bars on her. So those are the shoes that go around the whole foot. It's a circle almost. Looks like an egg, actually. It's more of a specific shoe, right? They don't come that way. You have to make them that way. I guess they come that way. I don't know. So I said to Lauren, I'll go there right after. She goes, I got a problem. She lost a shoe. Please, God, don't tell me it's a front shoe. Yep, left front. I think left front. No, right front. Wait, I think right front. It doesn't matter. She lost it. This would be like your tire going flat and you have to putting a different tire on your car. We go up. I asked the blacksmith, sir, any shot you have an egg bar? Probably not, no. Call the maintenance truck. Have you seen an egg bar on the track? No, no egg bars. Just put a shoe on it. Please just put a shoe on it. And now I'm coming unraveled. I'm about to boil over. Right? Now that I'm reflecting on the night we've had, which has been resoundingly underwhelming. I'm about to blow a gasket. I said, he goes, I said, I don't care what shoe you put on her at this point. Just put a shoe on her foot. So I come back after the 8th. Now, she couldn't warm up after the 7th. Doesn't have a shoe. So all I can do is go 3/8 of a mile with her after the 8th. This is the most ridiculous thing that is going on. And it's nobody's fault. It's just the way it is. So I don't go a full mile because she's now 2 races out instead of 3. I don't want her blowing when she comes in. I just go out the track, go on the track, and I let her rock down the stretch just to make sure the hobbles are all right. Is there any shot that she's trotting good? She's actually trotting pretty good. I blast her into the turn, pull her up. She's not blowing bad. Hang lines up. I said, I guess that's that. Lauren goes, they found the shoe. It's right here. I said, you just put that shoe in the bucket over there. She's racing with exactly what she has on her feet right now. So she had full swedges behind, an egg bar left front, and a normal 9/16 shoe with maybe a little borium on it right front. That's what she raced in, Judy's money. Go out in the track with Megan. I have flashbacks of globetrotting. If you guys remember, if you're old enough, you've been with us long enough, you remember what happened with globetrotting when we tried to race her out of the 9-hole or second lifetime start? Saw the gate where the ambulance is, tried to duck off it, made a break. At about, 3 to 5?
Yeah.
I almost vomited. So I'm trying to come up in behind Justin. Megan's actually behaving for Megan. Little schizo, little goofy, but mostly behaving for Megan. I go to take her, I go to look, there's a bunch of horses leaving, I go to take her back, and I see her start to root her head like a little bulldog. And I said, nope, I'm having none of that tonight. I just let her sail right to the front. I said, no more breaks tonight. None. I just let her sail to the front. Aaron, I blow right by Aaron. And I went, I'm going to leave her on the front. She feels good when she clears the front. We're there at 29. I'm thinking she'll trot 58 tonight. 1 sec, sweetheart. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Captain Obvious. I clear to the front. Now I feel Aaron pop right out of the 2-hole. And I'd said to Brett before, I told him everything that had happened. I said, hey man, the night we're having, just get me a bone if you could, it'd be great. And she actually warmed up good and felt really good. I don't know how deep she is. Her qualifier was good. Just race her. Get me a bone, whatever. Get some money. I feel Aaron pop out of the 2-hole, and I'm like, well, Aaron, I'm a gazillion to 1. I don't blame him. Although I probably would take him as far as he needs me to go. I look right, here's Brett coming 3 deep like a stormtrooper at the 3. I'm like, oh my. I don't know, this is going to work out. Well, at least she's trotting. Shoes look on anyway. And this is nobody's fault with the shoes. She was shot 3 days ago. She must have grabbed it. The issue with having the egg bars is there's a little piece at the back where they can grab it. If they get their foot in there, that's how a lot of horses lose shoes. They'll touch in between. They'll grab the corner of the shoe and then pop it off. Right? It's a lot of torque. And that's probably what she did. Just grabbed the back of that egg bar, just peeled it right off. She doesn't have that egg bar on anymore. She's got a 9/16 on. So Brett clears to the front, 59-3. I'm like, Judy can probably trot in 58. Geesh. I see the Annette Laurenson horse coming. I'm like, well, we might be able to get a deuce. And I was out for a second down the backstretch. But Aaron's horse, luckily he was going to take me. Let them go. Luckily he was going to take me as far as I need to go. Geez, I might be 3rd. Now Megan's gapping. It might have looked like she was done. I just remember she made a lot of breaks. I didn't want to tip her over. If I'd have made a break with her, who knows what would have happened. There might have been a nuclear explosion when she made a break. So I'm like babying her, like, come on, girl. I get her to the far turn, I tip her in, I got her right where I want her, she's trotting good. Now Aaron's coming back to me. I'm like, geez, I can't get out here now. I'm going to be 3rd. Aaron's horse goes to pull up. If Aaron just stays wide, I blast right through the inside. I'm 3rd easy. But I gotta wait. But now he's back down, and he's almost down in the passing lane. Well, Megan runs out the straightaways. So now I got Tyler Smith going to the, I think it's Tyler Smith, going to the inside of me. Yeah, it was Tyler Smith. He's going to the inside of me. I'm trying to force Megan left, but I don't want to put her on the run. So I'm like picking at her. I get my wheel free and I chase her down the lane. She just gets up for 5th, is almost 4th. She's beat a half a length for 3rd. And raced great. She shows 2 minutes. But I'm telling you, if I keep letting her sail on the front end, I think she trots. Obviously Judy's money. I can't say in all fairness that I was gonna trot 57. But I'll tell you what I would like to see happen. Judy's money clear to the front, and I chased her down the whole way. I don't think I beat her, but who knows? I'd trot 58 for sure that night, or in that scenario. Now I'm going to touch on the horse in Ontario just for a moment. Leave it. He looked like he was in good shape. 3rd over. Didn't look like he was going to finish up well, and then looked like he hit himself and made a break. I want to go with Simply Chaotic. Jody texted me. He didn't like the chain. He didn't like the hobbles being tight. Listen, I respectfully disagree. And I say respectfully with the utmost respect, because Jody's a great horse person too. But I've had enough Trixtons to know I'm not going to let his hobbles out. And the chain is going to stay right where it is, because he shut his air off last week. His head needs to come down. With the chain on, he shouldn't need his head up. Let his head down. Put a V martingale on the horse. Add a little weight up front. As I said to Jody, stand him up a little bit behind. If you got to put a bar shoe on him, then so be it for a little while. Put a blunt toe on him up front. What a blunt toe would mean, rather than just a square toe up front for you horsemen, maybe just a tiny little blunt on the toe. Little borium, let the horse roll off. And I think he'd be fine. Down with the head, V martingale, and I think he'd be much better. Congratulations to Blake. That horse that won crushed them and looked great. I've known Blake McIntosh since I met Blake McIntosh in Windsor Raceway when I first got my driver's license. So I've almost known Blake McIntosh for 3 decades. My brother Mark and him were very, very good friends. Still are, they're friends. Blake's very volatile. Mark can be also sometimes, so it's a on again, off again relationship, but they're friends, and they're good friends, and I love to see Blake do good. Blake's a guy that's worked in the dungeons of this industry and worked his way through, and I always cheer for Blake. And the horse that won that race, he looked good, looked really good. Tyler Moore threw over good. Now, if we made all the changes to Simply Chaotic, I don't think he wins in 56. I think he's a nice little 58 trotter. We're going to have a lot of fun with him. But maybe we head to the prospect with him, let him grow up. But those are the changes I think we need to make. And maybe I am wrong. I don't know. So as I said to you, as I reflect upon tonight, with a much better outlook after Judy's money winning. And what about tonight? You want to talk about how crazy this industry is, right? We had all these horses trained down good, looked good. Judy's money was okay. She had her moments, a few weeks here and there where she looked great. But overall, there's days she just looked weak, right? She just didn't put it all together. And I did not see a mile in 57 coming out of Judy's money tonight. We had all these horses trained down, and here it was, old Scratch and Dead Hanover that wins the race. Amy went and picked out that horse. We talk about, Amy picked this one, I picked that one. We all look at them. I've never saw Judy's money. That was all Amy. She was at the sale. I had a list of 7 or 8 horses we were looking at. She didn't like any of them. She said, there is a ready for money down here I like. And she bought the filly. That's the second nice trotting filly that came out of that sale. Do you know what the first one was? You don't even know.
First one?
The first, another filly.
Oh, yeah, the barley horse.
No, I don't know where that horse came from. We didn't buy that horse, so that was sent to us. No, the first good horse we bought out of that sale was My Jazz.
I wouldn't know about that. I was going to say 1, 2, skip a few or something.
No, we bought her out of the Buckeye Classic. 1, 2, skip a few, I believe. Yeah. So, Judy's money right out of left field. I could not have predicted that. If you gave me 10 storylines that were possible for tonight, I would say, in my mind, there was a better chance of Rose Run Bobby breaking the track record than there was of Judy's money winning at 57-2. So great job by Brett. That's how the industry is, right? I was just having like I said, if Megan's lucky day had made a break, who knows what would have happened. There would be no video tonight. I can assure you of that, 1,000%. And then Judy pulled it out of the fire. And Megan, you might look at it and say, it's a ho-hum 5th in 2 minutes 31 at the end of it. But again, that 31 was jammed up in behind Aaron. She probably truthfully come 30 in a piece, but learned a lot. That filly had the 9-hole tonight. It was parked to the quarter. The only concern I had of the entire night, the Ontario break, the break by Bobby, the break by Aunt Sarah is the only one that is mildly concerning to me. As I said, don't read too much into that. I watched her walk out to the trailer. She was sound as a dollar. So maybe Dr. Latessa can have a look at her and find some stuff. But again, she was the poor filly that had to follow 56-4, right? Not the night we wanted, but not a bad night. Steph's Hope. All my partners said Steph's Hope. 2 minutes, last half at 59. That's not far off what I thought she would do tonight. And did it the right way and raced well. Jolene Hall, tremendous tonight. Very good. Raced great. Nassau is a little disappointing, but as I said, at least 2 parts of that is on me. It's my fault. No lameness. There's stuff we can work on, and the horse will do just fine at Northfield Park, where he should have probably been. You're right, Steve. So, Aunt Sarah, as I said, only concerning moment. Rose Run Bobby, don't take away the bad and call it, she made a break. There was a lot of good that went in that mile tonight. A lot of good came from that filly. Megan's lucky day was great, and old Judy looked mighty good tonight. So that is an odd night and a little look into how odd horse racing can be. The horse that I was hoping would get a check ended up racing with different shoes on up front and going a mile that I just simply did not know she was capable of tonight. A great job by Brad, as I said, and a great job by everybody tonight, even you. So we will swing away, as they say, again tomorrow. A lot of fun coming your way tomorrow. It starts in the afternoon. Arrowhead, Hanover. I got to send Tim Tetrick a message. I can tell you right now, Manhattan Money is not a Tim Tetrick horse. This will not be his cup of tea. And I'm going to have to tell him, you're better off to try and time him into the gate, because as you get closer to the gate, he'll let go of the bit and let you time it in. But if you get him close to the gate, his mouth just turns into a buffalo's mouth. And until you're 100 yards off the car, he's not a very nice horse to drive. After that 100 yards, sweetheart. I think if you just roll him along through the post parade and then bring him into the car, And as you start to catch up to the car, he will let go of you and he'll trot good. And at that point, you can time him in and let him roll out. I think that would be a better option for both Kim and Manhattan Money tomorrow. I spoke to Mike Wilder briefly about Arrowhead Hanover. He's a sweetheart to drive. He'll do nothing wrong. He's 5-2, but short field, he's going to get away third, and he likely is going to be first over. So there's nothing more we can do. That's just the hand. I can tell you the hand that's about to be played. The rail horse is a favorite, just qualified in 53, and is a very good horse. 2 Horse is going to hold position. Mike's probably going to get away third and be flushed first over at some point. I wish there was a different way for it to play out. I just don't see it happening. But myself, at the Meadows, going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. Captain Incredible, Millie Girl, Looks Like Money. I know Looks Like Money's 5-1. He will likely be very forwardly placed tomorrow. Perfection, Hanover. I don't know what he's going to do. He's got a couple of killers in there that show 52. And Perfect Thought, I have not heard from Megan. I would be surprised if she raced tomorrow. Her AST is going to be drawn tomorrow morning, and Megan will have the numbers by 11 a.m. But I just don't see how she would tie up on a Monday and be fit to race in a stake race on Friday. I can tell you one thing. Megan is working her butt off to try and make it take place. But as I said to her just in passing, she's got the 10 hole with one division of 11 horses and 3 legs with a filly that we feel is the best filly in New Jersey. Not the end of the world if we scratch tomorrow. If she does, she does. If they choose to race her, then so be it. But I think Friday is going to be a lot of fun, and that will be followed up by Saturday. Look at the horses that are in Saturday. Like a gazillion of them. Supermind is the one I'm watching on Saturday. I expect Uncle Danny to be much better. Get some work on him, put his shoes back on him, the flip-flops the way they were before. I expect the Uncle Danny from the 2 weeks at the Meadows to show up. And 10-1 is a ludicrous line on this horse. Supermind at 6-5. That's a little low. But at the same time, he's coming in. There's a horse just brimming with confidence. The entire lineup tomorrow, top to bottom, is impressive. Rico Tubbs, I think you're going to find really good tomorrow. Leland Hanover, really good tomorrow. Go Strong's going to be a little flat. He's coming off fixing an entrapment. They can only train him so much. He's going to be a little flat. Captain Doolittle drew the 7 hole. It's unfair. Tex Song Soprano. Patrick and Tenacious, again, late races. Outside somewhat. Where do they got Patrick at? 15-1. He drops down next week, I guess. A lot of racing coming our way over the next 48 hours. Good luck to everybody over the next 48 hours for sure and beyond. I'm a little more chipper now than I was in the middle of the card. There's some good takeaways from tonight and not a whole lot bad ones. The reality of the situation is there's other good horses in Ohio. I think we all knew that was a possibility. Pretty big state. And we got some pretty decent horses also. I am, as I said, my biggest takeaway from tonight on Sarah. Just want to get Dr. Tessa and have a good look at her, see if we can't get her squared away properly. Other than that, a whole bunch of rinse and repeats. I don't think there's a whole lot of issues other than her and working on Nassau. So take care. I will talk to you at some point tomorrow. I hope you're having it's Friday, isn't it? No, today's Thursday. I hope you have a good start to your weekend tomorrow.